What if I told you there's one trait that pulls women in harder than a perfect face, harder than money, harder than status, and the reason most men never learn it is because it destroys everything society tells you about attraction. Not because it's complicated, because it's uncomfortable, because it forces you to accept something most people would rather deny. A few years ago, a group of behavioral researchers tried to measure something simple. Not what women say they want, but what their nervous system reacts to before their brain can lie. They didn't sit women down and ask them polite questions. They didn't collect opinions. They didn't care about what sounded correct. They watched patterns, raw patterns, heart rate, attention shifts, micro expressions, choice behavior, the kind of data that doesn't care about morality, or politeness, or what someone wishes was true. And what they found was so inconvenient, so against the modern narrative, that it never became mainstream. Because it exposed something raw, something ancient, something biological. Women don't bond to the man who looks best. They bond to the man who feels unshakable, the man whose presence doesn't ask, doesn't bend, doesn't chase, the man who seems internally complete. Today I'm going to break down what that trait really is, why it overrides looks, and why Stoicism has been teaching it for centuries. Let's begin. Chapter 1. Why Words Mean Nothing, expanded. Most men build attraction the wrong way. They listen too closely to words. They treat dating like a logical formula. They hear women say, I want kindness. I want softness. I want emotional availability. And men take that literally. So they become agreeable. They become accommodating. They become safe. They start shaping themselves into whatever gets the most approval. They think attraction is created through compliance, through emotional service, through proving they are harmless. But here's the brutal truth. Those things matter only after desire exists. Kindness is appreciated, but it is not the spark. Softness is valued, but it is not the magnet. Emotional availability is important, but only once attraction has already been triggered, because female attraction is not a logical checklist. It's biological. It's subconscious. It's emotional. Women will often describe the man they should want, but respond to the man they feel. That's why so many men get trapped in confusion. They do everything right. They text back fast. They listen. They compliment. They stay available. They never challenge. They never risk tension. And still, they become invisible. Not hated. Not rejected harshly. Just filed away. Like a brother. Like a friend. Like emotional furniture. Because attraction isn't created by agreement. It's created by presence. And presence cannot be faked through politeness. A man who is trying too hard to be chosen already feels beneath her. Women sense that instantly. Not because women are evil, but because biology detects instability. Neediness is instability. Approval-seeking is instability. And instability kills desire. Chapter 2. The trait that overrides everything, expanded. The trait is simple. Internal authority. Not aggression. Not arrogance. Not cruelty. But a calm sense of, I am already complete. A man with internal authority doesn't seek permission. He doesn't perform. He doesn't chase approval. He doesn't negotiate his worth in real time. He moves like his life is already anchored, like he belongs to himself. Women feel that instantly, because uncertainty repels and stability pulls. Think about it. Imagine two men in New York. Same height, same looks, same job. One walks into the room scanning faces, hoping he's accepted, adjusting himself, trying to be liked. The other walks in calmly. Not loud, not arrogant, just present, unbothered. He doesn't rush. He doesn't apologize for existing. He speaks when he has something to say, and when he does, people listen. That difference is invisible. But women feel it like gravity. Stoicism calls this emotional sovereignty, the ability to remain centered, no matter what happens outside you. A woman tests you, you stay calm. A woman pulls back, you stay grounded. A woman challenges your frame, you don't collapse. That is magnetic. Because most men are emotionally negotiable, they rise and fall based on female validation. But the man with internal authority doesn't. He is steady. And steadiness is rare. That rarity becomes desire. Chapter 3. The Brutal Contradiction, expanded. Here's where men get uncomfortable. Women will often say they want softness, but respond first to strength. Not strength of muscles, strength of nervous system, and that contradiction confuses weak men. They call women liars. They become bitter. But the truth is simpler. Women are not lying. They are describing comfort, but attraction is not comfort. Attraction is tension, polarity, emotion. A man who is too soft too early feels like emotional surrender. A man who has no spine feels like need, and need kills polarity. That's why the nice guy fails. Because niceness with no backbone feels like hunger. It feels like, please choose me. And women do not attach to men who beg energetically. They attach to men who can walk away. Not because walking away is a tactic, but because the ability to walk away proves completeness. A man who can leave is a man who is not dependent. And dependency is what destroys attraction. A man who collapses when she pulls back. A man who panics. A man who overtexts. A man who over-ex hookup tries to fix everything. That man communicates one thing. I need you to feel okay so I can feel okay. That is weakness. And women sense it immediately. The man who stays calm. The man who remains centered. The man who doesn't chase emotional chaos. That man becomes the one she thinks about at night. Chapter 4. What dominance actually is expanded. Dominance is misunderstood. It's not control over her. It's control over yourself. Decisiveness. Frame. Emotional stillness. The man who says, this is what I want. Without apology. Without begging. Without over-explaining. Women don't crave a dictator. They crave a man whose inner world is unmovable. That's the difference between noise and gravity. A weak man tries to dominate her. A strong man dominates himself. He doesn't react. He doesn't plead. He doesn't spiral. He stays composed. He speaks with certainty. He makes plans like a leader, not like an applicant. He doesn't ask, is this okay? He says, I'll be at this place at 8, come with me. And that calm decisiveness creates polarity, because feminine energy responds to direction, not desperation, not confusion, not emotional oversharing. Direction, and the man who provides that becomes unforgettable. Chapter 5, How to Build It, Stoic Practice and Expanded. This isn't a trick. It's a discipline. Stop asking for approval in every decision. Invite her into your life. Don't audition for hers. Speak in certainty. Remove maybe from your identity. Hold your ground under pressure. Tests are not threats. They are exposure. Detach from outcome. The man obsessed with winning loses power. Build real competence. Confidence is earned, not acted. Stay calm when she shifts emotionally. Your stability becomes the anchor. This is Stoicism in real life. Not quotes. Not aesthetics. Presence. Because the man who masters himself doesn't need control over others. He becomes control. He becomes centered. And women feel that. Conclusion expanded. The one thing women respond to more than looks, more than money, more than status, is the man who is internally unshakable. Because biology doesn't obey political narratives. Attraction isn't created by pleasing. It's created by polarity. Nice without strength becomes comfort. Strength without chaos becomes desire. And the man who masters himself will never have to chase. If this opened your eyes, subscribe, because this channel is about reality, not fantasy. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.